So most of the things I'll be saying in today's video will sound a little bit more traditional, like, more cultural, in the sense that when I talk about the age gap in marriage, I'm thinking about a man being the older one and the woman being the younger one in the marriage. Okay, that is a typical or a traditional thought when you think about age gap in marriage. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mabel, and here on my channel I film about family, relationships, beauty and lifestyle. I also like to vlog. I cook occasionally. I love to eat, yes, and yeah, I just like to have fun in marriage. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to our channel. Thank you for always tuning in. If you're new here and you're just seeing this beauty for the first time, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel, okay? Because here on my channel we learn, we share, and we have fun. Yes, we do. So in today's video, I'll be talking about the effects of extreme age gap in marriage. Yeah. Truthfully, there is no right age gap when it comes to marriage, okay? Yes, I'm saying this because there have been people who have been married to men who are extremely older than them. When I say extreme, I mean 10 years plus. I know to some people 10 is even extreme. Some people 8 years is extreme. Some people 5 years is extreme. Some people, I don't know. But I mean, I'm talking about 10 years plus age gap in marriage, okay? There are people who are in marriages with men or with people who are like 10 plus years older than them, and they're successful in their marriages, okay? There are also people who are married to people who are about the same age as them, or who are like 2, 3 plus older than them, and they've also had successful relationship. Now let's talk about the unconventional or untraditional age gap in marriage when it comes to the woman being older and the man being younger. Yes, don't tell me modern age or anything. The unconventional or non-traditional age gap is when a woman who is older marries a man who is younger, and they've also been successful people like that in their marriages, okay? There've been some who have worked out and there've been some who have not worked out. But I feel like when I'm talking about age gap, I'm looking at a traditional method where the man is older and the woman is younger. Yes, so like I said, there have been different scenarios where regardless who is older or what the age gap is, the marriages have been successful and also not successful, okay? So age is not a specific determining factor to how successful or not a marriage will be. But that being said, I feel like extreme age gap in marriage, especially when the man is extremely older than the girl, it's usually a disadvantage to the women than the men. And I'm saying this, and I'm also thinking right now that there are also advantages to marry people that are older than you as a woman. I don't know, maybe having an extreme age gap, or just something between 3, 5, 8 and 10 years. To me, I consider anything between 2 to 10 as okay. But I mean, if it's over 10, to some people too is okay. I mean, but for me, anything 10 years plus sounds a little bit extreme for just personally, okay? And that doesn't have to apply to you. But I mean, for most times, in most cases, women that are married to people who are extremely older than them are more disadvantaged in the marriage than the men. So before we go into the disadvantages, I would like to talk about a few advantages that I'm thinking about. So for women who marry men who are older than, and I won't say older, and I'm going to be specific and say for women who marry men that are extremely older than them, I feel like one of the advantage of that marriage would be a father figure, okay? Someone who cares. I mean, typically when you marry somebody who's older than you, as a woman, those people are considered more caring, quote and unquote, quote and unquote, more caring. They are more like father figures in your life, okay? They are going to take care of you. They look at you like, oh, their baby and all that, okay? So I feel like there's a little bit more care from the man's perspective, looking at the woman as his wife, his friend, his daughter, and just somebody he is older than and who wants to show more love and care towards, okay? So that's one of the advantages that I feel like women who are in marriages with older men get. And that doesn't mean that those who marry men who are of the same age with them or who are who marry men that are younger than them don't also feel care. When I'm talking about it from a father-like perspective, and I think I read something, or I watched something, this psychologist who was saying that most women who marry men that are extremely older than them have father or daddy issues. Okay, I'm not saying that's the case, but I just wanted to put that out there. So I'm putting it out there because it kind of tallies with the man being older, really caring for the girl who's young, or the wife or the woman who is younger than him. Okay, yeah, that can be argued as a truth, and also not necessarily. Yeah. And also an advantage of women marrying men that are older than them, extreme in quotes, will be that it's easier to respect men or people who are older than you. Okay, quote and unquote, this is me, I'll say it again. So I mean, it's easier to respect. Sometimes the respect can even be fear, and it can also be a disadvantage to the woman as well. But I mean, respect in marriage is an advantage. Okay, so yeah, marrying an older man, or men marrying younger women, is an advantage to the man because it's easy to respect somebody who is older than you. And traditionally, or ideally, it seems like the right or the conventional thing to do, okay, as a woman, to marry somebody who's older than you. Think about it. Okay, when most men who are older, that marry when they're kind of older, and they decide to marry younger women, most of them have probably acquired wealth or worked and made money, and probably, they're ready, they're better prepared for life than younger men most times. Okay, so I feel like marrying somebody who's older than you as a woman, it's a plus or a perk, because they are kind of better prepared to care for you and your children, yeah, financially and otherwise, maybe especially financially. So I feel like that's also an advantage, because if a younger man marries an older man, especially one who has been established, who has gathered things, who has taken time to prepare for his future, is an advantage for the woman. Okay, yes. And also, looking at it from the man to woman's perspective, is an advantage for the man, the older man who marries a younger woman, because it's considered to be that most women in their younger years are more fertile reproductively than older women. Yeah, so that's another advantage to the men than the women. So that being said, let's dive into some disadvantages which actually made me to do this video, because I feel like extreme age gap in marriage is more of a disadvantage to the woman than the man. Yeah, so one of the disadvantages of being in an extreme age gap marriage, especially with women being younger and the men being extremely older, will be imbalance, especially in decision making. I'm saying this because truthfully, when a girl or a woman marries somebody who's extremely older than her, and probably one who has acquired wealth over time and everything, it's hard to find balance when it comes to decision making, especially with finances. Okay, now if you're married to somebody who is about the same age as you, I mean, if a millennial marries a millennial, it's a little bit easier for them to make decisions together. Okay, if you're married to somebody who you guys are making wealth together and building your life together, it's easy as a woman to make decisions with the person, on the same level. Okay, but as a younger woman, if you marry somebody who is extremely older than you, there will be an imbalance in decision making with finances. Okay, I don't think most men, especially not just the age, think about their ego, their man ego and everything. It's hard for you to see like a really older man who is married to like a really younger woman sit down and tell them, this is how much I have. This, like, I mean, make budget with them. Listen to the woman. Let her also make decisions with the money or the wealth that you've acquired. I mean, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of more dominance when it comes to the man in that relationship. The woman will have little or no say. Probably she's just going to be there and be taken care of. He'll provide for her and everything. And this might not be a problem, but I just feel like it's a disadvantage for women who marry people who are extremely older than them. Imbalance in decision making, where we're going to live, how we're going to spend our money, what investments we're going to do, even to sometimes how many children you're going to have. As a young girl, if you're marrying a man and he said, I want 5 children, especially for the ones who are uneducated or not exposed, you know, it's going to be even a greater disadvantage to you as a woman than marrying someone who's a little bit educated and exposed. Okay, so that's one: imbalance in decision making and male dominance. Yeah. Another aspect of disadvantage is that when it comes to conversation, right, and respect, I think you can also put the respect aspect of it. Okay, a younger woman who is married to someone who's extremely older than her would be most times careful how she talks to this person. She'll be careful not to come out as disrespectful. She'll be careful, you know, she'll be kind of, I think their communication and intellectual conversation, whatever, will be limited. You know, I was telling Chris the other day, Chris is my husband, by the way. I was talking about this topic with him. I kind of wanted to hear his opinion. And I told him how sometimes I just spank behind his head, or just all these silly things. You say some words that, you know, to you it's not disrespectful, to him it's not disrespectful. But there are some kind of people you'll marry based off of how old they are, like they are really older than you. And like I said, when I talk about age, I like to add education, intellectual, you know, being exposed. All those things also affect relationships in marriages. Okay, yes. So I was saying that, to me, there are some things I can do with my husband, some jokes I can crack, some words I can use that doesn't come out as disrespectful to him. But if I was married to someone that was really, really older than me, like 20 years older, 15 years older, I mean, I would want to be careful not to come out as being disrespectful to my husband. Yeah. I mean, you can make really silly jokes and just have light conversations and all that, and it won't be difficult. But if you marry someone who is really older than you and probably who's walked through his life to make money, and most time feels that you are married to him because of what he can provide, I mean, you're going to have to be extremely careful in the way you have conversation with them, what you said, try not to come out disrespectful. I mean, you're going to do the most to be the respectful, virtuous woman that they've married. Another disadvantage for women who are in extreme age gap relationships would be that, thinking about health conditions, okay, it's as if the man is living off of your young self and you are taking care of his old self. Okay, so you know that the older you get, the more you start experiencing health issues and all that. So sometimes women who are extremely young that marry men who are extremely older than them have to deal with kind of some health issues with the older man. And yeah, just the fact that they can have other things that you don't know. And even before marrying most of these men, you might not even have the chance to have certain conversations with them to know what their health status is. Like, I mean, go on social media, you hear stories of people who had older men who have issues that their younger wives never knew about until they got into the marriage, and they have to make sacrifices because they're in the marriage. And most times when you see really younger women who marry men that are really older and successful, it's really because of the money or the success that the person has attained. Okay, yeah. So that's also a disadvantage. You know, I feel like the man is living off your young self and you are there taking care of his old self. So that can also be a disadvantage. And truthfully, most of these older men who marry younger women could be for just reasons that they want people who they can control, who they can subdue, who they can dominate, and those who they feel like they are more fertile because they marry them mostly for just companionship and to be productive, basically. Someone who they know that will be able to have a child, because women are, like I said earlier, are more fertile in their younger ages than their older age. So yeah, so those are a few things I feel like with extreme age gap in marriage, I feel like women are more disadvantaged in such marriages than men. So for me personally, I feel like the most or the very extreme age gap relationships, like I mean the ones that I hear somebody who is in their 50s or 60s are getting married to women who are in their 20s, or even they're not even up to 20, but I mean in their 20s. Okay, I feel like it's going to be more of an exploitative relationship, more of a domineering relationship, and most of the time those women can sometimes feel abused in those marriages but they would not even know how to go about it or talk about it or thereabouts. So I mean, it's okay to marry somebody who is older than you. I mean, generally you can marry someone who's older than you, either as a woman or a man, or who's whatever. I don't know, everybody have their preference. I've had people who said they cannot marry people who are like 5 years or more older than them, or 10 years or more older than them. Yeah, we're entitled to our opinion and our choices, but I mean, in most extreme age gap relationship, the women are more disadvantaged than the men. Yeah, let me know what you think about this topic, or let me know what you think about what I've said. Do you think most extreme age gap relationships are more exploitative to the women? Do you think it's the same? Do you think it doesn't matter, it's just a personality thing? And yes, I actually agree that it doesn't necessarily have to do with the age. Sometimes it's just the educational level of exposure, and maybe other factors that will determine actually how successful or not, or how advantaged or disadvantaged anyone can be in a marriage. Okay, so that being said, I've come to the end of today's video. As usual, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, like my video, share, leave a comment, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're returning so hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. Take it one more time. You're blabbing, you're ranting. Calm down, breathe in, breathe out. And that's kind of stuff anyway. So anyways, hi guys. So in today's video I'll be talking about the effects of monsoon. I'm looking at time so I can pick my babies up from school. Somebody okay, is about the same age as you, or who is in the same generation. What they call that thing? See, anytime I'm doing video, it's like something, I'm just missing all the words that I kind of thought of before. I mean, if a millennial marries a millennial, it's